Good evening, race fans. This is Kip Thompson, host of the Voice of Victory Lane podcast. Tonight's show is being brought to you in part by Barrier Fencing Supply Company and Atwell Exterior Services. Tonight's show is dedicated to the loving memory of Willie Lee Milliken, who passed away on December the 5th, 2022. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and enjoy the show. Barrier Fencing Supply is a fencing wholesaler and distributor based out of Supply, North Carolina. Whether you need fencing, fencing products, fencing accessories, or various other construction materials related to your fencing needs, we have the products you are looking for at today's most competitive prices around. Ask us today about bulk pricing packages. Call 910-269-8661. Contact us by email at sales@barrierfencingproducts.com. Barrier Fencing Supply, proud supporter of the Voice of Victory Lane podcast. Hey, good evening, race fans, and welcome back to another inside edition of the Voice of Victory Lane podcast with Kip Thompson. We just heard from one of our big sponsors, Barrier Fencing Supply, out of Supply, North Carolina. Huge partners of our show, big, huge dirt race fans, and we are so excited to have them as part of our team. Also, tonight's show is being brought to you in part by Atwell Exterior Services out of Greenville, North Carolina. Trevor Atwell, Team 8 Atwell Racing. Really, really big dirt fans as well, and also super excited about having them on part of our show as well. And we're going to hear from them tonight as we close out tonight's show. Race fans, tonight is a very special show. It's very special to me. This is like one of the shows that I've been looking forward to for a long, long, long time, because it's about accomplishment. It's about perseverance. It's about never giving up. And tonight, we're going to talk to the driver of the number one, MJ Price Longhorn out of Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina, who pulled off what many would say was impossible. Saturday night, Elkin, North Carolina, the stage was set at the Ultimate Motorsports RV Park. It was the championship race, the final night of points for the Ultimate Super Late Model Dirt Series, and the champion for 2023 and 2023 Rookie of the Year, Willie Milliken, my friend. Welcome to the show tonight, man. We've got a lot to talk about, and I'm super excited, man, to have you on tonight. So we're going to talk about the road, the trip to the top. Welcome to the show, buddy.
I appreciate you having me on, Kip. I mean, I really do. Thank y'all, and I love the show that you do too for us.
Hey, well, I appreciate that, man. We're all about, trying to promote local dirt track racing, blue collar racing, grassroots as it's called in our region. And let's just talk about it, man. Let's just start right from the beginning, man. 2023 was a different start for you. You had to adjust to several different things. The biggest fan you have in your life, he's not there at the racetrack anymore, but he's still with you in your heart. You talked to me personally, talking about, man, I really have a heart for wanting to go super late model racing. I want to do that. It's something that I want to put in my resume under my belt. And man, you did it. And, you started out with, stellar fashion for 2023, Carolina Clash Super Late Models inside our hometown racetrack, the Fayetteville Motor Speedway, and you won that race. And then you started dabbling in the deal with the Ultimate Super Late Models. You take a team like what you guys have, you did something, number one, you never done before. You entered in, you wanted to go into Ultimate Super Late Model Racing with that series and go with points and travel and do some stuff, and race on a different level, man, than you've ever done before. Let's talk about what made you make that decision. What gave you that drive within your mind and in your heart for you and your team to do that?
Well, I mean, we started out this year, we wanted to do more super racing. We didn't know exactly what we were going to do, if we were going to be able to do the Clash, Ultimates, or what, or we were going to be able to do any of them. We were just going to hit and miss races. We missed that race at Lancaster, which hurt us for the Clash points because they don't have a drop deal. Well, luckily, it rained out the Ultimates at Lakeview the first race, so that and the county line. Well, we got to pick up right after that, and we got into that deal, and we kind of stayed in the top five right there. I mean, top 3 or 4, 5 right there the whole time, and then gradually just kept going. And so we just kept sticking with it. We put our mind to it. Well, this is what we're going to stick with. And we talked to Mason, and he told me, he said, well, just stick with it and do your best at it. Don't give up on it. So that's what we did.
Well, you were starting there uh, at the beginning of that series run in the points deal. Also, not only trying to run for points to win the championship, which inevitably, as the season progressed, came part of the goal because it became, it was within reach. And then, obviously because of, attending all of the races, you also qualified to be in the running for Rookie of the Year, which you sewed up as well. But to talk about, when we open up tonight's show, we use the word commitment, we use the word perseverance. There was a dream, you know what I'm saying? I mean, this was a huge desire for you and Crystal and, your whole entire team, man, that just works their butt off for you. And, Mason, Price, and Lauren, those guys allow you guys to chase your dream, man. And, and as I sat at that racetrack in Elkin, North Carolina this weekend, I mean, it's like I'm just watching, this guy who his dream is coming true. I mean, it's like a storybook ending that all the stars were aligned just the right way because, as again I said, you had Anthony Sanders, who was 6 points above you. Dennis Rambo Franklin was 1 point ahead of you. So which means for those who weren't at the race, Willie Milliken would have had to have finished to win this. Willie Milliken would have had to finish 7 spots ahead of the 421 Anthony Sanders, 2 spots ahead of Dennis Rambo Franklin. 2 seasoned veterans, 2 guys who have been Ultimate Super Late Model champions before. Willie Milliken on the outside looking in, 3rd spot, who has never captured a points championship in a traveling series like this that covers North Carolina, South Carolina, and even into Georgia. But Saturday night, that stage was set. And the team, Willie, you can talk about it with me. You guys have, it's been a struggle bus, man, off and on for 2023. But the word quit was never in this team's vocabulary. What you needed Saturday night, in my opinion, which kind of played out, was you needed to have a really, really good qualifying lap. I mean, that's what you did. And I'm going to let you kind of take it and walk us up to the top from there.
I mean, yeah, our team ain't never going to quit. We're refusing to quit. We might be old and sore and beat up, but we ain't going to quit. We're going to keep thrashing. And ain't nobody going to work no harder than my team, and ain't nobody going to give us no more than what my coroner's going to do. But coming into this race this weekend, we had set our goal. Look, realistically, we're probably going to get 2nd or 3rd unless something really happened. Because I knew Anthony was going to be on his game in Rambo, and I expected that. So we went in saying we could do it, but it was going to be tough. And we got there, and Friday night we struggled a little bit. We found a little bit of speed, and then we struggled, and we got there. We was actually parked beside some friends of ours, and we just got to talking and everything, and Harold Holly actually, and he was actually talking to me, and that's the first time I ever really got to introduce myself to him, and he was really a lot of help just talking to him. That man is so full of knowledge that nobody don't believe, and he understood what I was saying, and he kind of gave me a few pointers, and pointed me in a little bit of direction that I thought maybe I wasn't going to, but he gave me a few pointers and it helped me, and my guys stood behind the decisions we made, and so we knew we had to go out there and click off a good week practice. We were pretty decent. Come in, we thought we had a few changes we needed to make. And they agreed with me. And the bad part about it is we started to go out to qualify and the transmission locked up. It busted low gear in it. So we had to be pushed off for qualifying. I said, Lord, this thing's going to just give up on it now. I said, don't give up on it yet. We went out there and we made a good qualifying lap. I think we was like 3rd overall in our group, which put us starting 5th for the feature. I come back in. All weekend I just felt like a different person. Like I wasn't getting excited. I was just trying to just let the cards play where they played. But deep down inside, I really wanted to win it. But I was just letting the chips fall where they fall. Well, my guys, they didn't get upset. They come in, we changed the transmission, and we lined up for the race. And we kind of stayed around that fifth, sixth. We raced with Jimmy Owens. We raced with McIntosh. I mean, we had a good run with them guys, Ben Watkins, and we kind of got about the third lap. I got hit with a big rock in the head, and it busted the shield off my helmet. I mean, so I run 38 laps with the shield hanging off my helmet, and it was pretty much sandblasting my eyes. But that's not an excuse. I mean, but it took some of the focus off being able, like, where you could see the racetrack like you wanted to. But overall, I mean, I want to say congratulations to Donald McIntosh for winning his first Ultimate race there at Ultimate Motorsport Park, because them guys done a fantastic job with that facility. But they told us on the race receiver I need the 2 and the 1 to go in the infield and just sit tight. So, you know, the whole time we was there, I was like, man, we didn't get it. We didn't get it, you know. And my guy was like, I think we got it. And then I was like, no, we didn't get it. I'm like, they didn't call it. And all of a sudden they said, 1 to victory lane, you're the champion. And I just seen, man, I seen my whole crew light up. I mean, it was like a bunch of kids, like when you're in school. It was just something that I'll never forget, watching my crew jumping up and down. I watched the expression on my wife's face change because she was sweating bullets. And to see that meant more to me than anything in the world. And to know how hard they worked all year to help me get this accomplishment. And without them, I couldn't have done it. Without Mason and Lauren Price, there's no way in hell I could have done it. And we went over to victory lane. We done our thing. And, of course, my buddy Kip, KIPP, he was standing in there with me, Bo. And I wanted to get emotional because I set my goal when we said we were going to do it. You know, this was for my dad. And I know he was looking down on me, bro. And I mean, he helped me with it. But without friends and my team the way they were, and my wife and I got the best damn car owners in the business. They don't put me down. They don't tell me I done wrong. I mean, they just they help me get what I need and to be successful. And I owe it all to them. I owe it to Mason Lauren Price. I owe him everything. I owe my crew everything. I mean, Daniel, Paul, Woody, Keith, Alan, Core, he comes, helps us. I mean, Jamie Griffin, I mean, all those guys. My wife, Crystal, I couldn't do nothing with this without him. And she's our backbone behind all of it. But I can't do nothing without these guys. And I'm telling you, man, and this is a very good thing for us. And it's just another notch in my belt. But without the support of them and our sponsors, I mean, Willie Milliken wouldn't be crap.
Well, you know, to Willie, man, to hear you explain it that way and to talk about it that way, it shows how humble you are, man. And it's just a great deal, man, because I remember, you know, Saturday night I walked through the pits and I saw you over there and changing that transmission. And, you know, I was talking to a good friend of ours on the phone, Wayne Gray, and I was like, you know, I don't know what the deal is, man. I can't put my finger on it. There's something different about Willie Milliken tonight on August the 26th, dude. I mean, you know, most of the time a guy comes out, gets off of the racetrack, you know, the transmission kind of, you know, gives you an issue there. Although we got to get this thing on jack stands, man, we got to change this thing out. You know, I've seen you guys. I mean, it's like bouncing off the walls. It was just like, man, there was just like a calm over that whole pit area, man, there, you know, for a good while. You and I stood there and had conversation. You got ready to hop in the car, and I was there to watch the race. You're a very good friend of mine, man. We've been friends for over 20 years. And I reached my head in the car and said, hey, listen, man, best of luck. And your words exactly, I will quote you. You looked me right in my eyes and you said, Kip, look, man, hey, I'm going to do my very best. It's going to be, man, what it's going to be. You know, it's, you know, whatever's going to happen, it's going to happen. But we're going to leave everything we got on the racetrack. And I gave you a little fist bump, you know, and I rolled on, you know. And so we go out there and we start to watch the race. But, you know, I think in my mind, I don't know, somebody may think I'm crazy, but I think the calm over that area where you guys were is there was a peace there within you, because I think, you know, it takes a crew. It takes car owners. It takes, fans or whatever. But I think there's a little something special there also too, man. It was kind of walking you through that deal because, you and I had conversation that you kind of heard a little voice in your head to do your thing and just gonna work out, son, wherever it goes. There's a little sticker right there beside where that thing goes in, where that transmission screwed up. There's a little sticker right there, man. It's a picture of Willard Lee Milliken. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I just know that, kind of in my mind, that was just kind of, I think that was a part of the calm before, the battle that you were about to be in. And it was a battle, brother. It was a battle because, when you start watching that race, I mean, it was a race. I mean, you've got Anthony Sanders in the 421. You got Dennis Rambo Franklin. And how fitting is it, man? How fitting is it that you got two guys that race together all over this region who lost their fathers? And here they are, both on a platform of a stage to potentially be the points championship for 2023. It's just kind of odd how it shakes out that way. But, when you start racing there, man, and the race gets going, Sanders kind of falls out with a drive shaft issue. And, you hate for someone to have bad luck. You like to be in a situation where, hey, man, we could have raced it out. But, man, that's just the plan of what was laid before all of us. And, the caution comes out with, I don't know how many laps it was left. And I'm sitting there looking. Willie's got to be two ahead of Franklin. And, buddy, let me tell you, you couldn't see it, but I could see it from the back of my truck where I was. He threw that piece on the high side for a good amount of time. And, buddy, he started clipping off spots. And when that final caution came out before the race ended, he was only 4 spots behind you, brother. He was 4 spots behind you. And, it was just a deal to where you were able to hold out, and get the job done. And, it was just like a storybook ending, man, like I've told you and I've told others. It's just a team who sets out on a limb a little bit, to go to places and, talk about, I mean, it's got to be hard, man, to go to several racetracks, man, you've never been to before. It's not like coming down to Fayetteville and being at Lakeview or County Line in Halifax where you race all the time. But, man, you did it and you were able to keep yourself in a position where you were in contention, not only to get the Rookie of the Year. I mean, you were in a position to go all the way to the top, man, to win the points championship, man. and you did it, Let's talk about, that drive in the back of your mind that, kept you on pace, man, for Saturday night. Because there was something different. There was something special within your mood, your mindset. And I think there was something different in your heart, man, Saturday night that helped you get where you wanted to be.
Well, I got the biggest coach of all with me on every race. She's sitting beside me. She'll tell me if I did right or I done wrong, regardless of how you look at it. And half the time I don't want to hear it because I'm probably in the wrong about it. But like she told me all week, she said, we're going to go. We're going to do what we can do. She said, don't let nothing get to you. She's like, just keep your head focused into your race. And the more you worry about the other two or the race, the more mistakes we're going to make. So, I mean, I tried to do that. I just tried to just block all that out, let the cookies fall where they're going to fall, and just kind of set a mentality in my mind. Look, don't start changing too much and get out the box. When we get out the box is where I've done it a bunch this year. I got outside the box and it's cost me a bunch of spots. But I just feel like I had to do this for my guys, my wife, and my race team and my sponsors because they put a lot into me. And I felt like I had to be more calm-headed, relaxed, and focus on what my job needed to be. And that's kind of where I left it. But I felt like, like you said, when you came to the car that night and I told you they're going to fall where they fall. You told me, you said, look over there on that thing. Now rub it. And that was my dad's picture. Well, at the end of the night, you came to my car. I mean, I was sitting in the car. They was getting ready to announce us being the winners. What's the first thing you told me? You said, now you rubbed that picture. You said, because he done it. And I mean, dude, I know he was with me. I knew he was riding with me. And I mean, Nobody could beat us unless I beat myself. And nobody works harder than my team, and nobody works harder than we do on our cars. We beat ourselves a lot, but I I think you're going to see a lot better outcomes with our group because I think we're getting in the right direction now for what we want. But that's pretty much where my mindset was at this week.
Well, when you look at that team too, man, you got to say going forward, now you believe we can do it. Man, you ran 6, 7, 8 laps as hard a racing as there was on that racetrack in Elkin, North Carolina, Saturday night, beside the number 20 of Jimmy Owens, who races all over the country. Willie Milliken out of Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina, was door to door, side by side, down the front straightaway, back straightaway. You guys were putting on a show. Y'all were the show there for about 7 or 8 laps, brother, to be honest with you. But, it's really cool to look, whenever you struggle, and you guys have struggled.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I've talked to you during the week, man, and, man, I just don't know what the deal is, man. I just don't know what the problem is. Well, at the end of the day, there's nothing that a win will not cure. And how cool is it but for a win of this magnitude to cure what you've seen, what you felt in your lowest lows in the 2023 season? It wasn't a checker flag on the track. It was a points championship. And you talking about curing all of what ails you. It doesn't get better than that, Willie Milliken. And not only rookie of the year, but man, to win a points championship again, it was a race team who stepped out on a limb to do something that they thought in their mind, hey, they wanted to do, and hey, then it started to get fun, and it's just really, really neat, man. And Daniel and Paul and Jamie, man, I got to give a shout out to those guys. I know your crew guys, and I told them that. I said, man, you guys have hung in here with this guy. He's behind the wheel. But, man, I see those guys on the dirt, man. I see them in and out of that hauler multiple times. They all got their own job. They all got their own niche. And I could hear all of you guys the times that I walk by your trailer, hey, double, triple check. Make sure everything's tight. Make sure everything's good. Hey, how much fuel do we want to go? We're going 40, 50-lap race here because, it was a 40-lap race, and then they were going to do a 50-lap race, and then they cut it back to 40 due to time. It's like a well-oiled machine. Everything, man, just came together at the right time. And I have to tell you this, man, I don't know of another team that has a driver and a crew that, like you said, works as hard as you do. Every time I see you at the racetrack, I've never seen a guy that works as hard on a race car from the time you step out of the driver's seat of that hauler until you finally get back in there to go home than you do. But, man, it's just very, very much deserving, man, for you and your team. And me and our crew here, our family, you made Fayetteville Motor Speedway proud, man, all of us, because there's so many fans here. And I just think about all the kids, man, at Rockfish, man, that are watching this show tonight, man, that are huge Wild Child fans, man. I think about James, the high side Erskine, man, who I interviewed him in Victory Lane, man, at Rockfish, and I told you about this. The kid wins, and you guys were out running at Lancaster Speedway that night. I remember it very well. I can see it in my mind right now. He said, thanked all his sponsors, and one of them was Team Wild Child. I said, man, how fitting is it, man, that you say Team Wild Child, because you guys had given extra money, to the top place finisher. And I was talking to him about that. And my man just unzips his little driver suit, man, and bowed his chest out, sounded like Superman. And it had a Team Wild Child t-shirt on. You and I had a conversation, and I told you, as friend to friend, there's more ways to win, Willie Milliken, than taking a checker flag on Saturday nights, man. When you got little kids like that to look up to you, and you guys have always taken time, young, middle-aged, old, for your fans and stuff like that. And it's great to have a following that people can watch this show tonight, man, and see that, man, you capped off something really, really big. And it was a great atmosphere, standing room only, man, in Elkin, North Carolina. It was just unbelievable, man. But, we mentioned your car owners, and you could never say enough about them. But let's talk about all the guys, the other companies and stuff that help sponsor you tonight. Belgroves Jr., BGE, always the best in Cumberland County. I got his shirt on tonight. And let's talk about, man, all the sponsors that help you.
I mean, like you said, BG Belgroves. I mean, he's a big supporter of mine too. Not only is he a supporter, he's one of my good friends, and I mean, I can always count on talking to him or helping. He'd help. I mean, he's there for us. I mean, I've got like I said, MJ Price. Without them, Willie Milliken wouldn't even be on the racing scene right now. I mean, I'm just they're more to me than just my corners. They're like family to me. I mean, no, they're not. They are family to me. Point blank, and they allow us to do what we want to do and take and help us get the right stuff to do it with. And I mean, I love them for everything they do on and off the racetrack for us. And I got a M&W Transport, Sherwood, Mr. Sherwood, super nice guy, big sponsor, big time guy with dirt racing. He sponsors a lot of cars. I couldn't do it without him. He helped us all year. I mean, thank the world of the guy. He is just a big supporter for us. TWA Concrete. I mean, Scott Farmer. He's came back on board with us this year. I grew up with him, and he's been gone for a while, but he come back this year, and I'm thankful for that. And he said he'll be back with us next year. And I can't leave Brian, East Coast Towing. He's like a brother to me. He's always there. I got to give him a woo uh, because he's going to have shoulder surgery on Thursday. But Brian's got my back, and he's always been there for me. And he's one of the people that talk me through anything. And can't do it without him. I got Temple's Body Shop. He comes, helps take care of some of the body when he's down that way. He'll come beat out some pieces and help us and paint them. Alan Core Enterprise. Can't thank that dude enough. He's become one of my best friends. He's run up and down 95, I know, 15, 20 times this year after work, staying till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. We cut stuff, we built stuff, we done all kind of things. I got to give a shout out to him. Thank you for all the help you helped me this year. Longhorn Chassis, Vic Hill Racing Engines, Dirt Wrap, Jimmy. I got to give him a shout out. He does the best wraps in the business. I mean, he's always taking care of us. Man, I mean, I got WG. He's been there with me. I got H&R Trash, Jericho. I'm just trying to think of everybody that's really helping me. Ramey Engines. Man, there's just so many. I'm trying not to forget none of them. Raging Rooster, you know, Shine. I mean, Keith Williams Motorsports, Big Keith. He's part of our crew. He can't go up and down the road a lot all the time, but he's there during the week. He takes care of the car, helps me. If I need anything, he's right there for me, and he sticks with me through thick and thin, and I love him to death. So, and I can't forget the voice of Victory Lane. How about that?
That's right.
And I mean, I appreciate everything you do for the sport, the commentating, the podcast. I mean, not just from me, but probably from every driver and fan out here. You do one hell of a job, and you're great at what you're doing, brother.
Well,
So thank you.
I appreciate that, man. That means a lot to me. But I want you to do something different. Well, not different, just kind of special for me while we're on the show tonight. Man, there is a thing that is travels up and down I-95. It stretches north, east, southwest, all over everywhere. Man, just give a big shout out, man, to what's called, quote unquote, the Milliken Mafia, man, the fan base that you have. And we've got to give, I want to do a special shout out, man, to two people in particular. And I know you'll echo this with me because what I'm about to tell you is the truth. Probably there's a multitude of Team Wild Child fans, Willie Milliken fans that travel all over everywhere just to watch. Charles Patterson out of Lemon
Yes,
Springs,
sir.
North Carolina, and out of Wade, North Carolina, Marion House. Those two guys are huge supporters, huge followers, but not only just them. I mean, just, man, give a big Willie Milliken thank you, man, to all of those fans, because I remember the nights, man, when we'd be at different racetracks, man, and you weren't even there racing. You just came to get some practice laps in at the end of the night. And the last show, whoever it may be, the crowd kind of thins out. But when they see that big black holler over there, hey, Willie Milliken's here. Hey, we ain't going nowhere. If he turns 2 laps for 20, we're daggone watching, and and you got like a guy like Charles Patterson, man, that you could be racing the World 100 in BFE, Egypt somewhere.
Yes, sir.
He's going to be there. He's going to be there. He's even got it on his car, man, on the windshield of the car, Milliken Mafia. So I want to let you take just a quick moment here before we end the show, man. Let's talk about those fans and thank them, man, for following you like they do, man.
Well, man, I'm telling you, Charles Patterson is probably if I had a fan thing set up, that would be my leader. I mean, it don't matter where we go. He calls every week, asks where we're going, what we're doing. And I mean, he is a true friend, but he's also a true fan.
And you can count on it. Hey, you can count on it. When he calls you to ask you where he's going, you look, brother, he's going to be there.
He's going.
He's going to be there.
He's going. He's going to be there. And I mean, I got him and his wife. They go to most of all the races, and no matter where they're at. And I mean, he's a true Team Wild Child fan. And man, it's the same way. I mean, he is 100% a Wild Child fan. I mean, love him to death. Known him for a long, long time. But my biggest goal is to keep the little ones happy and involved in racing, because that's the future of our racing. Because when I get old and I want to sit on the porch or sit on the TV and sit in there and watch TV and watch racing, I want to say, hey, I know that kid. Or, hey, them kids, they come up the right way. That was the future of our sport. And I actually talked to them. I actually helped them. Because there's not enough time on earth that you could possibly, or as busy as you could possibly be, to not take 5 minutes out to talk to a kid. I mean, I've been in a panic mode, and I've stopped what I've done just to talk to a kid, whether it hurt me or it helped me. I know that kid. I always remember it, because I remember one day I was that little, and I always wanted to, talk to one of them or understand them. And some of them didn't have time for you, and some of them did. I mean, and the ones that did, you remember it. I mean, that's the main thing. But the Milliken Mafia, a Team Wild Child, I mean, I've got such a good fan base. I'm being honest with you. I love each and every one of you, and I thank y'all for supporting us.
Well, man, it's been an awesome season, man. It's been a journey, man, that has just been so interesting to watch. The ups, the downs, the highs, the lows, the middle of the road, to how it ended for you with the Ultimate Super Late Models, man. And again, man, congratulations on capturing the championship, and also 2023 Rookie of the Year with that series. But we look forward to seeing you at some more events throughout the 2023 season. I know you'll be back inside the Fayetteville Motor Speedway when we come back September 23rd for the Carolina Clash, running of the Big C Memorial inside the Carolina Bull Ring. And what else is on the schedule for you guys? What else big have you got going on for the remaining part of this season?
When we talked about maybe running the Clash race the weekend before at County Line, before the Big C race, yeah, that's a shocker, ain't it? Yeah, better be careful now. But we're going to take this weekend off. Me and my wife's going on vacation. We're going to call it a mini vacation. My guys wanted to take a break. We're going to come back and regroup. We're going to go to Halifax. I think they got another I-95 race. They're back-to-back, one this week, one next week. And we're going to take Mason over there, and we're going to take our limited car, and we're going to go over there and try to win a limited race. I mean, you got Roush and Dustin and Christian and Bat and all them guys. They're going to be tough to beat. And I mean, that's one thing I'll never say. The limited guys in this part of the area are tougher than any of the damn super drivers that we race against sometimes too. I'll give them a shout out too. If you beat them, you done something. So I'm not gonna never take it away from the guys that I race with regularly, but that's 3 of the races I think we got on there, and then they might hit that XR at Cherokee, that the blue gray.
Okay.
And we're gonna probably call it quits after that.
I got you. Well, to be sure, you'll come back and run the in the limited section of the food coma comeback at
Well, no, I got the steel block bandit race too. I got the the cash money 100.
That's right.
We are going, we're gonna hit that. We're definitely gonna be there for that, and
that's in October.
See if we can't pick that up.
Yeah, that'll be in October. That's the weekend of my birthday. That's the it's a 2-day deal. I think it's the 20th and the 21st this year, and the Cash Money 100 with the Steel Block Bandits will be back at the racetrack where it all originated from years ago inside the Fayetteville Motor Speedway. Fans, we have been here tonight with Willie Milliken, driver of the MJ Price #1 Longhorn Vic Hill power plant that really capitalized on his 2023 season. August the 26th, Saturday night, 2023, champion of the Ultimate Super Late Model Series. He captured that Saturday night, along with being the Rookie of the Year for that series. And Willie, again, man, thank you so much for taking time to be on the show tonight. Always a pleasure to have you on our show. And again, man, just congratulations on capitalizing something really big. And like I told you earlier, man, it's really cool for someone like me to be on the outside looking in, to do what I do, but also to see someone I call a friend live out his dream. It's awesome.
Well, I appreciate it, and I appreciate you having us on here, but I'm telling you, we got a lot more to come. I mean, we're not going to lay down yet. We still got bigger and better things to come for next year, too.
Absolutely. Well, we look forward to that, because it already sounds like with TWA and other people, you have already started making the wheels start turning for 2024. Fans, that is Willie Milliken, driver of the MJ Price #1. He is the 2023 Ultimate Super Late Model Champion and Rookie of the Year, and we look forward to seeing him at other racetracks in our area for the remaining part of 2023. As we close out tonight's show, we will hear from Atwell Exterior Services out of Greenville, North Carolina. Trevor Atwell, Team Atwell Racing, huge supporters of our show. And as we close every one of our shows, we'll do it tonight like we always do it. Be on the lookout. We could be coming to a racetrack near you, and you could be who we're talking about next, right here on the Voice of Victory Lane podcast. Tonight's show with Willie Milliken and Kip Thompson is dedicated to the memory of Willard Lee Milliken, who passed away December the 5th, 2022. He was out of Leland, North Carolina. He is the father of the 2023 champion. And tonight we dedicate this show in his memory. And we want to thank every one of you for watching. We'll see you next time right here on the Voice of Victory Lane podcast.
Atwell Exterior Services and Team Atwell ride with a winner. Congratulations to Trevor Atwell and the team at Atwell Exterior Services in Greenville, North Carolina. Atwell is the top-rated roofing and exterior renovations company in racing country, and Team Atwell has sponsored so many great racing teams for years. Ride with a winner on your roof or on the track. Atwell Exterior Services. Atwell Exterior Services and Team Atwell Racing. Ride with a winner.